Do you have a financial budget for your e-commerce store? Hi, I'm Patti Scharf, CPA and partner at Acuity. Today we're going to be talking about budgets, what they are, why you need one, and how it can help you achieve your goals. For some people, budget is a scary word. Sometimes it's boring. People may not understand what it is. It's really actually pretty simple. Building a budget is building a scorecard for your business. You want to know, did you do a good job? Did you do a bad job? What were your intentions and how did things turn out? So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to build the budget and then how to measure yourself against that. So more on that in just a second. When I first started working with e-commerce businesses roughly 12 years ago or so, it seemed like everybody was really fascinated with how they could grow fast, how they could grow big. Everything was about growing. And then I think the pandemic hit, obviously in 2020, and the consciousness of everyone shifted a little bit. Money was everywhere and people were anxious to cash out, basically. I think a lot of people wanted to go explore what their passions were if they weren't this business. And a lot of people, they were selling and then starting new e-commerce businesses and just churning those over. So I think then the focus really became exit. I think now most e-commerce businesses that I've talked to, the sellers are really focused on building healthy and sustainable businesses. They're trying to cut costs. They're trying to pay attention to where their money is being spent. They're trying to do more with less. And that's where budgeting comes into play. So before you start building your budget, you want to pay attention to what is the objective you are trying to achieve? Are you trying to maximize your profitability? Are you trying to reduce your overhead costs? Are you trying to change the composition of how your money is being spent? Do you want to spend more in some places and less money in other places? Or, maybe you just want to grow. Maybe you're just starting out and you just want to get bigger. Whatever it is, that's going to help dictate the budget that you're about to build. The most important thing to do is to just get started. You could use accounting software, you could use complex financial models, but just pull out a spreadsheet, pull out Google Sheets, and just start listing out what you expect sales to be, expect what all of your related expenses are expected to be. Okay. The most important thing is that once you have this built out, that it is set in stone for whatever period you have built this budget for. So I would actually recommend maybe you start small, do a budget for a month, see how it goes. Do it for a quarter or for a 13-week period and see how close you were during that period of time. And then build a budget subsequent to that for like the next quarter or the next year, however long it takes to develop comfort with what you can expect those numbers to be or what they should be. Okay. If you're looking for something where you're changing your projections as you go, that's going to be a forecast. It's not going to be a budget. And I'm going to talk more about forecasting in subsequent videos. So stay tuned for those. If I was going to build an e-commerce budget, I would start out with 4 separate categories on where I would spend my money. The first would be cost of delivery. So this is going to be the cost of the products that you're purchasing, so cost of goods sold. It's going to be shipping costs. It's going to be pick, pack fees, duties, basically all of the costs associated with getting a product and sending it out to your customers. The second category is going to be customer acquisition cost. This is going to be your ad spend, paid ads, social media. It's going to be commissions if you're paying any of those kinds of costs that are related to acquiring your customers. The third category is operational expenses. This is your overhead stuff like rent, people, utilities, all that kind of stuff, right? And then the fourth category is going to be profit. That's why you're in business after all. A good target is to take those 4 categories and just split your expenses across them evenly. So 25% allocated to each of the different categories: cost of delivery, customer acquisition cost, OPEX, and profit. So if you split those up evenly, it's a good rule of thumb, and it'll at least get you started. I will say that 25% profit is ambitious, especially if you're just starting out. Don't get discouraged by that. It's just a good rule of thumb, and your business might have different qualifications. Like you might want to allocate those percentages differently based on what it is you're trying to achieve. So I used a budget here of $5,000 of sales to show it just split across evenly across all of those different categories. And then the way you're going to use this as a scorecard is after that period of time that you set the budget for. So whether it's a month or a quarter or a year or whatever it is, you're going to look at the performance of what you actually did and how the money was actually spent. Remember, you're not changing your budget. You're going to leave it as is, but you're going to compare it side by side with actual. So in this case, I assume that there were actual sales of 6,000. So you beat out your target, so that's good. But then I compared all of these actual expenses compared to the actual sales that were actually achieved. So we've got these dollar amounts for the different purposes, and then these percentages are basically just like the COD divided by sales. So 2,500 divided by 6,000 is 42%. Your target was to keep that under 25%. The CAC was 23%, so you did good on that. OPEX was 22%, so you did good on that. And then your profit was too low. And you know it was too low because you spent so much extra in the cost of delivery. So you can start using this as a tool to start figuring out how money should really be allocated, where you should spend your time in trying to reduce costs. So if your cost of delivery is too high, now you can start negotiating with your suppliers. You can start taking a look at shipping costs and really drill down into the details of that. Obviously, this can get super sophisticated and you can get into incredible minutia, or you can just do kind of a high level overview, whatever works for you. Here's the last thing I want to say about budgets. As hopefully you gathered from this video, the value of the budget is being able to take it and compare it against the actuals. So if you just create it and then throw it in a drawer and never look at it again, that is not going to help you out. It's just a colossal waste of time. So there's a lot of information that can be learned from working with your budgets. And if you are paying attention, you'll see you will either win or you'll learn, and then you can adapt and you can manage your business towards meeting your goals much more effectively. The last thing I want to say is that several months ago, maybe April or May-ish, Andrew Udarian at E-commerce Fuel put out a podcast about optimizing your profit and loss. It was a really good episode, and I recommend that you watch it. I've included a link down below to help you get there, and I hope you find that helpful. I hope you like this video. If you did, please like, comment, and share. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.